She gave up food for books. The millionaire CEO's devastating decision will haunt you. The moment the news broke, the world stopped. Emma Langston, the wealthiest CEO in North America, had made an unfathomable choice: she would stop eating. Her luxurious penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering city stood against her stark and eerie decision to trade meals for novels. $1 million dinner parties turned into solitary reading hours, gourmet chefs replaced by towering stacks of paperbacks. It was surreal. With each book she devoured, she seemed to vanish physically, yet grow spiritually, a specter of her former self. Emma's transformation ignited whispers across the boardrooms and coffee shops, a $1 million mystery wrapped in a tragic tale. Friends wondered aloud, what is she searching for? The community was enthralled, buzzing with rumors about her mental state. Was it a publicity stunt or a desperate cry for help? In a world consumed by consumerism, how could she choose words over nourishment? It made no sense, and yet it was captivating. But the strange part? The deeper Emma spiraled into the world of literature, the more she withdrew from reality. Days passed in a blur, and as nights fell, the shadows of her mind flickered with thoughts she couldn't articulate. Conversations that once ignited joy now lay dead around her like wilted flowers. And still, she read. The empty shelves in her kitchen mocked her decision. Her clothes hung off her, draping like curtains over a broken window. Friends pleaded with her to stop, to eat, but she just smiled softly, lips curved, eyes haunted, like they were the only ones awake in a dream. Then came the whispers of a fateful encounter, a rare manuscript, said to unlock the secrets of creation itself. Emma's heart raced at the thought. Was this her chance to reclaim her life? Or would it lead her further down this rabbit hole, igniting a passion that might consume her entirely? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. What was it about this elusive manuscript that beckoned her with such force? Emma felt its pull even in the depths of her hesitation. Was she willing to pay the ultimate price for knowledge? As she made her decision, the air crackled with tension. The buzz around her grew louder, and with it, a chilling question lingered in the back of her mind. Would the manuscript bring the freedom she sought, or the doom that seemed to dance at the edges of her reality? Emma stood alone in her sprawling penthouse, the moonlight casting ghostly shadows on her gaunt frame. Stacks of books surrounded her, the pages whispering secrets she longed to uncover. But that same longing twisted in her gut, gnawing at what little was left of her spirit. The manuscript, the one that promised to reveal the essence of creation, was said to be in the hands of a reclusive poet known only as Ryland, an enigmatic figure who thrived on obscurity and mystery. Days turned into a haze of literary indulgence, yet the thought of Ryland propelled her. She couldn't ignore the sharp longing swelling inside her. It was more than hunger for food, it was hunger for something deeper. But why was she chasing this manuscript? Was it truly out of passion for knowledge, or had her desperation for purpose rendered her blind to the reality of her existence? The city outside moved like a living entity, unaware and indifferent to her internal battle. Emma's phone buzzed relentlessly. Friends texted, called, and even knocked on her door, but she merely turned up the volume on her audiobook, drowning out words she couldn't bear to hear. Just eat, Emma. We're worried about you. The voices faded into the background, as muffled as her own concerns. Felt that it was late evening when she made her choice. With a sudden rush of adrenaline, she decided to hunt for Ryland. The truth buried beneath his words must have offered something more than the solace her books provided. Emma slipped into a worn-out jacket, the fabric hanging loosely from her shoulders, as if even the clothing mourned her. With every step down the grand staircase, she felt an unwanted pulse of life surrounding her. The lobby buzzed with laughter and chatter. It was vibrant and chaotic, all she yearned to be a part of. Once outside, the city boomed with life. Neon lights flickered like paint splashes on a canvas. Emma walked the streets, weaving through throngs of people, her heart racing with anticipation and dread. Where could she even begin to search for Ryland? Word on the street was that he frequently frequented an up-and-coming bookstore, one rumored to be an archive of forgotten tomes. When she arrived at Ink Reveries, the quaint little shop felt like stepping into another world. Shelves bowed under the weight of books, and the scent of worn paper wafted through the air, comforting, yet disconcerting. The dim lighting cast a magical ambience, bewildering her senses. She hesitated, wondering if she belonged here anymore. Looking for something? A voice jolted her. An older woman with silvery hair stood behind the counter, eyeing her with kind suspicion. "You look like you're searching for answers." "Yes. I'm looking for Ryland," Emma declared, her voice trembling. "Do you know him?" A flicker of recognition sparked in the woman's eyes. She hesitated, then leaned closer, whispering, "It's not about what he knows, but what you're willing to give up to find it." The word struck Emma like thunder. What had she already sacrificed? In this relentless quest for knowledge, how much more was she prepared to lose? The stakes loomed higher with each heartbeat that pulsed inside her hollow chest. "I really need to sometimes, what we seek isn't what we need," the woman interrupted, her voice steady yet soft. Emma felt a knot forming in her stomach. Panic settled over her, thick and suffocating. She thought she wanted answers, instead, she had stumbled upon even more questions. Would the search for Ryland lead her to the manuscript? Or perhaps break her in a way she couldn't comprehend? The tension hung thick, she had to decide. Emma took a breath. What happens if I find him? The woman's gaze pierced through her, deep into the core of her fraying self. Then you'd better be ready for what you uncover and what you might lose. Emma's heart pounded louder than the busy street outside, resonating with an ominous foreboding that echoed in her soul. But what was truly waiting on the other side of this revelation? The answer flickered just out of grasp, like a shadow dancing along the edge of her vision. Was she about to discover a path leading to the very heart of creation, or summoning her own destruction? The air vibrated with uncertainty. As she stood, ready to ask the next question, a chilling thought crept in: what if entering this new world meant she was never coming back? And just as she prepared to leave, a chilling realization struck: the manuscript wasn't just a book, it was a key that could unlock a door to a truth far more terrifying than she ever imagined. The moment she stepped outside, a shiver shot down Emma's spine. The air was thick with the kind of tension that made the city seem alive, pulsating with secrets waiting to be unearthed. She hesitated, the weight of the unknown heavy on her shoulders. What had she truly signed up for? Emma took a shaky breath and glanced back at the bookstore. The woman's piercing gaze lingered in her mind, echoing with ominous warnings. What was she willing to sacrifice for the truth? With each step toward the subway station, shadows darted in and out of her peripheral vision, making her second-guess her decision. The rattling train arrived with a rush of air, and she climbed aboard, her heart thumping like a drum. Did anyone else on this train feel the same urgency, or was she alone in this spiraling quest? As the train sped through the dark tunnels, Emma thought of Ryland. How would she find someone who thrived on isolation? How could a reclusive poet possibly hold the key to her salvation? The more she pondered, the more frantic her mind became, tossing and turning over the possibilities. Emerging from the station, she was greeted by the vibrant energy of the nightlife. Club music thumped in the distance, while laughter and shouts filled the air. But it all felt distant, muted against her racing thoughts. "Excuse me," a voice cut through her spiral. A tall figure, clad in a leather jacket, stepped into her path. He had piercing blue eyes, almost startling against the backdrop of the city's neon glow. "You're looking for someone, aren't you? You smell like desperation." Emma swallowed hard, preparing to brush past him, but something in his tone made her pause. I need to find Ryland." His expression shifted from casual to intrigued. "Why? What do you want with a ghost? I believe he has a manuscript that could change everything, she blurted out, her voice trembling. Why was she revealing so much to a stranger? He stepped closer, lowering his voice. It's not just a manuscript, sweetheart. People would kill for that kind of knowledge. Are you sure you know what you're getting into? A sinking feeling twisted in her stomach. What do you mean? His eyes flickered with something fear. Excitement? Let's just say that Ryland's words have the power to create, or destroy. You need to ask yourself if you can bear the weight of both. Emma felt a cold knot forming in her chest. What had she been expecting? That the manuscript would hold the answers to her path and purpose? Or something darker? I don't have time for riddles, she muttered, her frustration bubbling up. Where can I find him? Meet me here at midnight, he said, the urgency palpable. But come only if you're ready to embrace everything that comes with the truth. And I mean everything. The words wrapped around her, tightening like a noose. She could see the truth unfurling before her, glistening with promises and peril. What is your name? She asked, trying to anchor herself in this whirlwind of uncertainty. Just call me Jay. I'm merely a messenger, he replied with a smirk before slowly backing away into the crowd. As the city lights flickered above, Emma felt a rush of indecision. She could turn back, walk away, and forget this whole eerie encounter, just another night filled with unfulfilled potential. But the pull toward the enigmatic Ryland was overwhelming. The hours dragged on, her anticipation coiling tighter and tighter around her like a live wire. It was maddening. She had to know that at the stroke of midnight, she stood at the same spot where Jay had left her, the tension thick enough to cut through. The crowd had thinned, only a few stragglers lingered, chasing their own shadows. Emma's heart raced as she scanned the area. Would Ryland appear? Or was this another dead end? In that moment, she realized the chilling truth. This was not just about her desire for knowledge. It had become a journey into danger, a descent into a world she might never escape. Her mind echoed with a single harrowing question: what if seeking the truth meant losing herself in the chaos of Ryland's world? Before she could second-guess herself, a figure emerged from the darkness, tall and shadowy, almost like a specter. Was this Ryland, or simply another illusion in her desperate search? Emma, the figure whispered, his voice as raspy as falling leaves. You came, but are you ready for what lies ahead? And just like that, the night thickened with dread, as the time for answers approached. The figure stepped closer, revealing a face lined with years of struggle and despair. Emma's gut twisted. This had to be Ryland, but why did he seem so otherworldly, as if he had been carved from shadows? Are you really him? She asked, her voice barely above a whisper, threatened by the weight of the moment. Ryland nodded slowly, eyes piercing through her, as if he could see every secret she harbored. You've journeyed far from the comfort of ignorance, Emma. But knowledge has a price. Are you prepared to pay it? Emma swallowed hard, her body reacting to the gravity of his statement. She felt the night pressing in around her, each sound heightened, a distant siren, laughter echoing from a nearby bar, the soft hum of an approaching breeze. It all melded together with her racing heartbeat. What does it cost? She asked, fists clenching by her sides. The humidity clung to her like a second skin, and every minute felt like a countdown. She was spiraling too fast to escape. Innocence, he replied, voice dropping to a chilling tone. Some things, once learned, can never be unlearned. Lives were ruined for the knowledge I possess, and I alone carry the burden. You should understand, truths can dismantle lives. That manuscript holds more than mere words. Emma felt as if the ground beneath her feet might give way. She had expected enlightenment. Empowerment. Instead, Ryland offered only fear, radiating from his hollow eyes. What are you saying? She stammered, uncertainty clawing at her throat. Could something so simple, so seemingly innocent as knowledge, be the catalyst for ruin? Meet me at the old theater in an hour, he said abruptly, shifting his weight. But I must warn you, once you step through those doors, there will be no turning back. You will witness things that would unravel your faith in this world. She opened her mouth to protest, but he vanished into the shadows before she could form the words. Panic gripped her. Why didn't she think this through? She was ready to exchange her fate for a grand promise, yet every instinct screamed at her to flee, but the thought of returning to normalcy to a world where she understood nothing was unbearable. The truth pulled at her like a siren's call, demanding she succumb. Taking a deep breath, she turned toward the old theater, a relic that loomed in her mind like a ghost, whispering remnants of stories long forgotten. As she walked, the city around her seemed to shift. Each step felt heavier, as if the very pavement was attempting to hold her back. She could do this. She had to. Yet, as she approached the theater, every light flickered ominously, illuminating darkened corners where shadows lurked like menacing figures, eager to trap unsuspecting souls. Emma hesitated at the entrance, feeling the chill radiate from the stone walls. It was an ancient building, crumbling but stalwart like a forgotten fortress of untold secrets. With her heart pounding, she pushed through the creaky door, entering a foyer drenched in silence. The air inside was stale, a musty scent filling her lungs. The silence was deafening, and in the stillness, she felt it an overwhelming weight, as if the very universe was holding its breath, waiting for an explosion of chaos and revelation. Suddenly, from the shadows of the auditorium, Ryland appeared again, looking more spectral than before. He extended a hand, inviting her deeper into the abyss. Are you ready to see the truth for what it really is? Emma's stomach twisted. Darkness surrounded her. She didn't know what awaited or how much more she could take. Come on, she muttered to herself, fighting against the urge to flee, but just as she stepped forward, the echo of a distant scream shattered the silence. Instinctively, Emma's heart raced. What had she truly signed up for? With every nerve ending screaming at her to run, she took a deep breath and walked into the dark. Would she uncover what she sought, or unleash a horror she couldn't escape? And as she crossed the threshold, a question lingered in the air: was the truth worth the inevitable price she would have to pay? The darkness pressed in around Emma, heavy and suffocating. Each step into the auditorium felt like a descent into some unfathomable abyss. The silence was no longer merely unsettling, it clawed at her, a living thing with sharp edges. She glanced back toward the door, the faint glow of the streetlight calling her name like a lifeline that she desperately wanted to grab. Emma. Ryland's voice slithered through the dark, icy and commanding. It pulled her back, swallowing her fear. She turned fully to face him. The stage, shrouded in shadow, seemed to pulse with unspoken stories. What are you hiding? She asked, her voice stronger now. What is it you want me to see? Ryland took a step closer, his face etched with a mix of urgency and an unsettling calm. You must confront the past to unlock the future, he explained, his voice reverberating in the stillness. The manuscript, it contains everything. Your sister's life, your family's disgrace. All of it. Are you ready for that knowledge? Her heart thudded painfully in her chest. My sister. The name hung in the cold air, almost a whisper. What do you know about her? More than you think, he replied, a flicker of something dark crossing his features. Emma's hands trembled as she fought against the memories. Her sister, Sarah, had vanished years ago. They had never truly understood what had happened. This journey into the theater wasn't just about knowledge, it was diving into a wound that had never healed. What does my sister have to do with you? Emma pressed, desperation cloaking her words. It was your sister's search for the manuscript that led to ruin, he said, the shadows sharpening around him like knives. She dug too deep, and now you stand here, on the same precipice. Emma felt a rush of nausea. What did you do to her? There was fire in her veins now, anger pushing back against the suffocating dread. Ryland didn't flinch. I didn't shed her blood, but I guided her just as you will be guided now. He gestured toward the stage. With deliberation, he stepped aside, unveiling an ancient screen, draped in black velvet. It shimmered under a single weak spotlight, old images flickering to life. The first photo was grainy, dated. Her sister was in it, smiling, eyes bright with innocence. A lump formed in Emma's throat. "Why show me this?" she choked out, fighting back tears. "This is just a memory." "It's a memory with consequences," Ryland replied, leaning closer, his breath warm against the cold air. "Trust runs deep, and betrayal, it cuts deeper. The truth may twist your love into something twisted and monstrous." Images scrolled in a blur. Sarah's journey, her discoveries, framed by ominous text that read like a foreboding prophecy. Emma clutched the edge of the seat, fear tightening her throat. "What if I don't want to know?" "You're already apart from ignorance, Emma. You don't get to choose." His voice dropped, a whisper that poured over her like ice water. "You've already crossed one line. Step back, and you'll risk losing what little hope remains." The lights flickered, casting the shadows into chaotic shapes. Emma's heart thundered in her ears. Suddenly, the air in the room rippled, a chilling breeze sweeping through, as if the theater itself exhaled in resignation. "Emma, prepare yourself," Ryland said. The atmosphere shifted again. Something was coming, something dark and hidden beneath these words and images. Just then, an ear-splitting crack echoed from behind the stage. She spun around, her breath caught in her throat. "What was that?" she whispered, fear coursing through her veins. Ryland's expression darkened. "The truth doesn't stand alone, Emma. Secrets often come with an audience." As shadows began to shift in the corners of her vision, Emma's heart raced. What had she awakened? What horrors lay in wait? She had crossed a boundary, and it felt irreversible. Would she embrace the truth even if it meant breaking her own heart? Was it too late to turn back now? The truth loomed before her, but it came with a chilling promise, revealing it could shatter her entire world. And with that chilling realization hung thick in the air, Emma braced herself for the storm about to unfold. The crack echoed again, louder this time, reverberating through the hollowed stage like the beat of a war drum. Emma turned back toward Ryland, panic knotting her insides. Shadows danced around them as if the theater itself were alive, playing tricks on her eyes. "Stay close to me," he urged, his tone suddenly sharp and urgent, the calm facade cracking. "Why? What is happening?" Emma's voice trembled as she clutched the edge of her seat, her knuckles white. "The manuscript," Ryland replied, his gaze scanning the dim corners of the auditorium, where the shadows loomed like watchful sentinels. "It's protecting something, or perhaps being protected. Either way, we need to find it before it finds us." Her mind raced. Panic and confusion twisted within her. "You said, my sister found it. Was she here?" "Yes. She came searching for answers, diving into the depths of secrets that should have been left buried." Ryland stepped closer to the screen, its images swirling with an unsettling energy that seemed to beckon her to draw her into a past filled with both light and dark. Emma felt the urge to turn and flee, yet something stronger held her in place. "What did my sister discover?" Each word was a struggle to voice, as if the question itself carried weight she wasn't ready to lift. "The truth," he answered, eyes flashing with a mix of concern and determination. "And where the truth lies, so do consequences." It was then she noticed a flicker in the shadows at the far side of the stage. A movement. Breath caught in her throat, she leaned in, squinting against the dark. "Did you see that?" Ryland's jaw tightened. "No time for distractions, Emma. Focus." But it was too late, the darkness whispered to her secrets entwined with sorrow and warning. With every heartbeat, the air thickened with a palpable darkness, spilling over like ink bleeding across paper. She could almost hear her sister's laughter mixed with cries that faded into echoes of despair. "Emma," Ryland's voice cut through her reverie. "Those shadows, the ones you see, they hold the memories of those who came before you. But why are they here? What do they want?" She gasped, feeling the edges of her reality begin to slip away. "They're here to warn you, or perhaps to remind you." Your sister found something she wasn't meant to touch. And what was that? The question lingered, thick and heavy. Ryland hesitated. The flickering lights intensified the shadows, casting a harsh glow against his face. They say the manuscript reveals the truth but also the torment of its secrets. Are you prepared for that burden? Emma swallowed hard, the lump in her throat returning. I don't know what I'm prepared for. Before Ryland could reply, the shadows exploded into movement. A figure emerged, robed in darkness, the outline hauntingly familiar, yet grotesque. A figure long thought lost to her. Sarah! Emma cried, the name clawing its way out. Emma, don't! Stay back! Ryland pulled her aside, shielding her from the growing shadows. But she couldn't look away. There was her sister, or something that twisted her memory, mirroring the innocence Emma had seen a moment ago in the photos. What do you want? I want to know. The figure turned, and a cold, sharp voice broke through the storm, sending a chill down Emma's spine. Truth is not a gift, little sister. It's a price. What price? Her heart raced as she took a step forward, compelled by something deeper than fear. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation, and Emma felt every heartbeat echo in the vast emptiness, a countdown to an inevitable revelation. Ryland gripped her hand tighter. You need to understand, Emma. To confront the truth means to face the dangers that come with it. What dangers? Her voice was small, lost in the swell of shadows. But before Ryland could answer, the figure surged forward, and the ground beneath them trembled. Emma stumbled but didn't back down. You can't hide from me. I will find out. The lights flickered violently, and in that moment, she sensed that something was shifting, the revelations coming closer. She was standing on the edge of a chasm that promised darkness and enlightenment all at once. As the shadows roared and the truth loomed larger, Emma prepared herself for whatever was to come, knowing that walking into that darkness might change everything she thought she knew. But what secrets would force her to confront not just her sister's past, but her own buried truths? As the storm rumbled closer, Emma felt an answer slip just out of reach, teasing her as shadows wrapped tighter around her heart. The ground shook violently, sending Emma sprawling against Ryland as the familiar figure loomed closer. She felt the chill radiating off Sarah, each step forward tightening the knot of fear in her stomach. Emma, listen to me. Ryland's voice broke through her shock, but she couldn't tear her gaze away from the phantasm of her sister. We have to go. We need to escape while we can. No. Emma screamed, her voice full of desperation. I want to leave her. This isn't my sister, but I have to know. I can't let her go again. The darkness around them seemed to respond to her defiance, swirling faster, closing them in. Echoes of laughter twisted and spiraled, barely audible over the monstrous thunder of the shifting shadows. Some whispered promises, while others howled warnings. The atmosphere felt electric, charged with emotions echoing from a time long past. Emma. Ryland's grip tightened, pulling her away from the darkness. Focusing on your sister might trap you here. Don't you see? Whatever she is now, it's not who she was. It's merely a shadow, a reflection of secrets kept too long. But the figure stopped just inches away from them, its eyes pure black holes swallowing the flickering light around it. You think you can turn away from the truth? The voice hissed, freezing Emma's blood. You cannot hide from what you're meant to face. The shadows tensed as if preparing for an explosion, building to a crescendo. Emma's breath came in shallow bursts, she could almost taste the air thickening with desperation. Prepare yourself, Emma, Ryland urged, his own voice strained. Whatever she shows you, you have to be strong enough to confront it. Your sister's fate is tied to yours. Suddenly, an image formed from the shadows behind Sarah. An array of scenes played out, a collage of their childhood memories. It showed moments warped by pain, loss, and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Emma watched herself and Sarah, laughing in the sunshine, bright-eyed and carefree. Then, it shifted to darker times, their mother's uncontrollable anger, their father's absence, the devastation of silence that loomed in the house. "Do you remember?" Sarah whispered, her voice a chilling echo of the past. "We promised to always protect each other. But look what happened. You buried the truth, just like the rest." The words pierced through Emma, they struck a chord so deep that she staggered back. The shadows beckoned with their seductive whispers, tempting her to retreat into the familiar, the safe. But to be safe now meant abandoning the truth. Ryland's hand shot out, grasping her arm. "Emma, don't listen to her. You don't owe the darkness anything." "No." Emma cried, pulling away from him, drawn closer to Sarah. She had to fight, had to know everything that had been hidden. "I need to hear this." In that very moment, the theater erupted into a tempest of noise. Growls melded with the fractured weeping of the shadows. A storm was brewing not just around them, but within her. The burden of her sister's choice loomed over Emma's mind like a noose tightening with each passing moment. As the images shifted again, she glimpsed something horrifying. Sarah, alone, holding the manuscript, its pages twisting and contorting, whispering secrets that echoed in time. In that instant, a ground-shaking realization gripped Emma. The price was not merely Sarah's, it was hers, too. "Emma." Ryland's voice broke through, a beacon of light amidst the chaos. "We can't fight this together forever. We have to find the manuscript. Your sister's agony is tied to its secrets." Emma's heart raced. Would she be strong enough to confront not only Sarah but her own buried truths? With shadows swarming around them, all hope flickered on the edge of uncertainty. As the floor trembled beneath her, Emma shouted, "What do you want from us?" The laughter erupted, ringing in her ears as shadows loomed closer, obscuring her view. A single voice broke through the chaos, faint yet resolute. "You must choose, Emma. Knowledge or oblivion. The truth waits, and it demands a sacrifice." The theater trembled with an urgency that raced against her heartbeat. The choice was coming. Would she have the courage to face the truth, no matter the cost? The shadows pressed in closer, squeezing the air from Emma's lungs as she stood caught between the haunting image of her sister and Ryland's desperate pleas. Time seemed to stretch, shattering into slow-motion fragments. Each heartbeat echoed in her head, reverberating through the churning darkness. "Emma." Ryland's voice sliced through the haze. "You don't have to do this. We can search for the manuscript together. We can figure this out." But as her eyes remained locked on Sarah, something inside Emma cracked. She felt the raw truth in Sarah's presence, felt it swirling like a storm gathering strength. "I have to know." She cried, desperation threading her voice. "I can't walk away without understanding what happened." Sarah's visage twisted into a semblance of a smile, yet the darkness spilling around her felt dangerous and alive. "You're so close, Emma. Just let go. Embrace your memories. They hold the answers you seek." Ryland's grip loosened in horror. "Don't. It's a trap. You'll lose yourself in the darkness." Just like with the shadows clamoring behind her, Emma couldn't hold back the surge of anger and despair. The laughter around her morphed into deafening whispers urging her to listen. Ignoring Ryland, she took a step forward, pulling herself into the vortex. The air buzzed with electric energy as images flashed before her, arguments, tears, her sister battered by confusion and pain. She could sense those fractures, the chaos of a once beautiful bond unraveled by secrets. "Face what you've buried." Sarah's voice echoed, louder now, challenging and seductive. Emma closed her eyes, desperate to drown out the atmosphere that pulsed with malevolence. Yet the warmth of her memories clawed at her. The laughter, the shared dreams. Who were they behind the walls they de-built? "Why, Sarah?" she whispered, the word barely escaping. "What happened to us?" The figure drifted closer, its hollow eyes bore into Emma. "Nothing is lost if you choose to see, Emma. Knowledge is light ignited by darkness. It demands truth. It demands a sacrifice." Emma's breath hitched, her heart racing as a chill trickled down her spine. Sacrifice? The essence of their lives had become a battleground. What was the price of uncovering this truth? Memories or freedom? The echoes that filled the space swelled into a tempest, drowning out Ryland's voice entirely. Please, she begged, fists clenching. Just tell me. Without warning, the darkness surged, swirling around them like a cyclone. The laughter transformed into shrieks, a pulse of agony that clawed at her mind. Shadows flashed past her, grappling with her thoughts, dragging her deeper into a chasm of despair. Emma, we must go. Ryland shouted, forcing a path through the undulating shadows. I want to let you get lost. We can face this together. But Emma's heart raged against his words. I can't turn away. She felt the fabric of her sister's world crumbling, bits of haunting memories fluttering like ashes in the wind. I can't lose her again. Emma Ryland's eyes shimmered with fear. Don't. As she reached for Sarah, the shadows swirled violently, engulfing them both. Images morphed into horrifying manifestations, concocting scenes of betrayal and sorrow long suppressed. Emma's scream ripped from her throat as she plunged deeper into the darkness, terrified of what she might uncover, and then, amidst the cacophony, a single memory emerged. The manuscript. Its pages turned with a life of their own, whispering secrets of the past that demanded to be heard. A feeling of dread gripped her heart. Emma, you have to come back. Ryland's voice trembled. But was it too late? The shadows twisted tighter, the boundaries of her mind fraying. Emma teetered on the edge of unknowable choices. The knowledge she sought was within reach, but at what cost? Would she lose herself forever? Emma, the shadows murmured, promising her revelation. With a shuddering breath, she stepped into the void. What awaited on the other side might shatter everything. Would she be able to handle the truth, or was it destined to consume her whole? Near the edge of the abyss, Emma felt her surroundings warp and shift, the shadows coiling around her like serpents. Each breath grew heavier, weighted with the promise of revelations. She wasn't sure where the truth would lead her or if she would ever return. The manuscript's whispers wrapped around her, chanting in a rhythmic pulse. She was transfixed, caught between the familiar and the horrifying. As the shadows twisted, they revealed fragments of her life, the good and the bad intermingled like oil and water. Forget the past, a ghostly voice crooned, echoing through the void. Embrace what lies ahead, free yourself. Emma's heart pounded. The memories played like a montage, happy moments with Sarah intercut with arguments that had left painful scars. Each scene flickered past her, flashing from black and white to bright color and back again. Sarah, Emma gasped, reaching out. A cold hand grasped her wrist, dragging her deeper. You're so close. It was Sarah's voice, but also twisted and dark. You can bring it all back, but you must let go. Terror washed over Emma, and she wrestled against the pull. Let go of what? Your fears, the voice answered. The truth is buried in your heart. Remember the last promise you made to me. The manuscript will set us free. The name alone sent chills through Emma. The manuscript, heavy with potential and danger, was a roadmap of their lives, riddled with secrets they had hidden from one another. In that moment, a violent swell of shadows surged and obscured everything. Emma felt herself slipping, falling deeper into the darkness. No! She screamed, clawing at the void. But then, she landed hard on a cold stone floor. The air was dense and stale, laden with the scent of mildew and despair. Disoriented, she blinked as flickering lights illuminated the room. Before her stood an ancient altar, marked with strange symbols and surrounded by piles of scattered papers. The manuscript lay open, its pages fluttering as if alive, revealing words she couldn't quite grasp. Read. The echoes urged, pressing against her mind. All will be revealed. Taking a shaky breath, she stepped forward, her fingers brushing the textured pages. They felt oddly warm, pulsating with a steady heartbeat, eager for her touch. Was this the truth she sought? Or was it a lie meant to pull her deeper? Suddenly, Ryland's face flashed in her mind, a coalition of frantic worry and fierce determination. Did he understand what she was facing? Emma. His voice rang again, ruptured by desperation. You need to fight against it. Remember us. As if summoned by her resolve, the shadows recoiled. An electric surge of clarity jolted through her veins. The path to freedom required fighting through the darkness rather than succumbing to it. She closed her eyes, centering herself. No more lies, she whispered, summoning her courage. I won't lose myself again. The shadows thickened, crushing her will, but something within her pushed back. Memories of Sarah's laughter filled her, mingling with the sting of their last fight. Emma felt a swell of strength harnessed from love and sorrow both. This was her sister. This was their truth. Opening her eyes, she read the swirling text aloud, the words spilling from her lips like a spell. We are bound by our choices, but also by our truths. The room trembled, the shadows howling in fury as fragments of her life spilled forth, moments of joy and pain intertwined, revealing the heart of their story. In that moment, clarity washed over her. Each word loomed heavy with sacrifice, resonating within her soul. Then she felt it a shift. Voices echoed louder now, the darkness ebbing away. Just as she thought she might be free, a chilling whisper snagged her attention. But there are things you don't remember, Emma. Things you must face. With a newfound dread, she began to understand. The past was not just pain but a mirror reflecting choices that could change everything. Would she dare discover what she had repressed? Outside the fading shadows, Ryland's worried gaze persisted in her mind. What truths awaited her, waiting to upend her world once more? And would she be brave enough to embrace them? Tension hung thick in the air as Emma stood before the altar, the manuscript glowing with a light that felt almost sentient. Her fingers traced the ancient pages, pulling her deeper into a dance between light and darkness. Each whisper from the shadows clawed at her, dragging her towards something heavy and familiar. Face it, Emma. You must confront the heart of your pain. Ryland's words echoed in her mind, his urgency palpable. You can't run from this truth any longer. With a breath as deep as she could muster, she summoned every ounce of courage left within her. I want to know. She screamed into the void, and the shadows stirred restlessly, as if acknowledging her commitment. The manuscript trembled beneath her touch, the symbols flashing vividly before her eyes. She began to read aloud, her voice steadying as she found strength in each syllable. The ties that bind are stronger than fear, they weave a tapestry of memory and consequence. The shadows rumbled, and for a moment, images burst forth, snapshots of her childhood, laughter and tears shared under a golden sun, the warmth of blossoming friendship with Sarah. But then it spiraled into chaos, arguments with their broken parents, frayed connections, a desperate search for understanding that turned bitter, marked by the silence that had followed her sister's disappearance. Emma's heart raced, she could feel the echoes of her past swirling around her, time warping in their midst. I see you, Sarah. She shouted, summoning the fragmented memories to coalesce into a singular point. I understand now. You were searching for the truth. We wanted to understand our family, our bond, and we lost our way. You didn't give up. You just. Her voice broke under the weight of it all. From the darkness, the figure of Sarah coalesced and flickered, standing before her with an ethereal glow. You finally remember, she whispered, her voice layered with both sadness and relief. It was never just the manuscript that mattered. It was us. It was our bond. Unraveling it and weaving it back together is the true path. Emma felt a wave of memories rush over her, moments she had desperately tried to suppress. But how could I have forgotten? Tears streamed down her face as emotion bubbled up, raw and unfiltered. The truths we bury don't vanish, Emma. They live in shadows, waiting for us to find the courage to confront them, Sarah murmured, the light of understanding shining in her once darkened eyes. You must choose, just as I did. You can't let this darkness consume you. Ryland stepped forward, his shadow overlapping with the light. You've touched upon the heart of the shadows, Emma. But knowledge isn't merely possession, it's a commitment. Will you embrace what lies ahead? Her heart thundered. The manuscript was not just a key to her sister's pain, but a testament to everything they lost. I will, she affirmed, clenching her fists at her sides. I refuse to deny what we went through. I'll honor it, and I'll save the pieces of us that I can. Suddenly, the air shifted, a gust of wind tearing through the theater and shaking the walls, forcing the shadows back. The energy around the manuscript surged, illuminating the darkness and revealing ancient inscriptions that sparkled with promise. Let it be your guide, Ryland's voice rang. Use your truth to heal. Emma reached for the manuscript again, no longer hesitant. She read the words that shimmered with radiant honesty, and the surge of memories flooded back: the mouse underneath the bed, the secret diaries, the red feathers that drifted down after their mother's anger spilled over once too often. As she pronounced each word, the shadows writhed, caught in the throes of her unveiling. They morphed, losing their grip on her. Emma pressed forward, pouring herself into the revelations, each word knitting the fabric of her past. In the beautiful chaos of memories, she felt Sarah beside her, illuminating the dark corners. You're bringing me back, Emma. You're giving us both a chance, Sarah whispered, every syllable a promise. The shadows gave way until finally, with one last satisfied release of breath, they transformed. Instead of tinged with sorrow, they glimmered with hope, a spectrum of light unfolding until it cradled her within its warmth, and then she saw it. Sarah's essence mingled with hers, uniting what was lost. They would not forget, they would transform. As Emma finished reading, the manuscript lay still, its power shifted from holding darkness to being a vessel for light. I have to go, don't I? Emma murmured, realizing she had reached the end of this journey. To find a new beginning? Yes, Sarah nodded softly. You carry my strength now. The truth is yours to shape. Together, Emma added, courage swelling in her heart. Always together. With a final shuddering breath, Emma stepped away from the altar. The shadows receded completely, leaving in their wake a serene stillness. She turned to Ryland, whose gaze mirrored relief and admiration. Thank you, she said simply, knowing they both had played a role in this journey. For believing in me when I could hardly believe in myself. Believe in the path ahead, Ryland replied, his voice resolute. Your stories matter. Embrace them. As dawn crept through the grimy windows of the old theater, Emma found herself stepping toward a reality where the burden of knowledge felt lighter. She was leaving behind the remnants of shadows, ready to embrace a life woven with truths and love. In her heart, she carried not just her sister but the promise of healing. Emma pushed open the door, sunlight flooding her with renewal. The world outside awaited, vibrant and alive, and she stepped forward, ready for whatever came next. This was her quest, a journey of truth, forever transforming the past into a luminous future. She could take the pain and joy of her sister with her, a constant reminder that within the darkness lay the seeds of rebirth. So, what does this tale tell you? Are you willing to face your own truths, to confront the chaos that binds you? Emma found her way back. Now, it's your turn to uncover the light amid the shadows around you, and before we wrap up, do not forget show your support. You need to subscribe immediately to this channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to keep me motivated and fed by the algorithm. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about Emma's journey. Instantly share this video with at least 5 friends who need to experience this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of standing together.